Welcome again to Bramble On, Dimension Q's cutting-edge coverage of Love Among the Brambles. Today we cover episode 15917, Resetting the Board. In this episode, Viola decides she will help the Fawn Witch as a means of putting a stop once and for all to Prince Raffia's bullying. The Fawn Witch tells Viola that the Brambles, especially Citron, should beware of Juniper, and the Fawn Witch declares that she does not intend to wait for the fairy ball before getting a lock of Raffia's hair. That moves up the timeline substantially. I don't know how they're going to manage that. Callilly tells her courter, the fellow courting her, that there is a conflict of interest that precludes their courting, insomuch as their families hate one another, since he is a cousin of Prince Raffia's. Dahlia, Slate's unintentional wife, refuses to divorce, and so he claims to have been intimate with her mother, Lena, which he was not, as a ruse to get Dahlia, the dalliance, to divorce him. Dahlia is unfazed and says no. Juniper's sabotage of Citron backfires. Not only does Jeffrin cling to his memories of Citron now that she's gone, claiming that absence has indeed made his heart grow fonder, and thus he does not turn to the arms of Juniper, but rather shuns her and rebuffs her. Not only that, but Citron returns from the wormhole. She was given a ride by an Etherean, brought along the ley lines. As many of you know, one must get permission from the Fae to access the Telluride ley lines, and only Ethereans can do the temporal arbor leap, the time-traveling, hop, skip, jump, skip, the thing that lets you jump between the dimensions and go backwards in time. Very, very tricky. Many are sizzle-fied when they try it. But Citron was in the right place at the right time. She was a Fae. She met an Etherean. She got home, much to Juniper's surprise and dismay. Milliam proposes marriage to Nanny Nettlebottom. Not only that, given their customs, that marriage is performed on the spot. Yes, you heard me correctly. Pearl, Nanny, Nettlebottom, and Old Milliam, are now husband and wife. It's more than we fans can take. Frankly, it's more happiness than we fans have a right to. Let's move on to the lumber trolls at Monte Cassino, with whom Magnolia and Brooke were dealing. As you recall, Brooke had aligned himself with a moss boss, a mob boss, and the boss required, as an act of fealty, that Brooke visit these lumber trolls who owed money and procure the money from them. Well, as we know, lumber trolls, as we discussed last week, are the size of a house. Magnolia, however, goes with him, and in this briefest of scenes, we see that the lumber trolls are, as one would say, nice guys, and they agree that they will help Brooke get out of his deal with the Moss Boss in exchange for wiping out their debt. And so there is an alliance formed, and we will see how that works out. Back at home in the ring, Prince Raffia thinks the mayor is taking too long in his deliberations as applied to the Bramble family. As you know, Raffia wants them kicked out of the ring, shunned, banned, and their legacies expunged from the annals. And thus, Raffia, displeased with Mayor Hollow's effectiveness, Raffia decides to run for mayor himself. These are shocking developments in the story, I will say. Again, we have no appearances by Dodd Hoskins, insomuch as the actor playing him is still working on his block-busting movie. One hears he has broken a hand while busting the blocks, and thus may be away from Love Among the Brambles that much longer. This episode, unsurprisingly, received a robust 5 mushroom rating. Now let's hear what you, the callers, had to say about it. As always, we will take 3 calls. Caller number 1.
Hi there. I don't feel comfortable with Callilly dating a member of the ruling Unseelie family. She's been through enough and is so fragile. I always figured she'd end up at a convent or something. Do fairies have convents?
I believe you're not alone in your discomfiture as pertains to Callilly potentially dating a member of the ruling Unseelie family. Callilly herself was the one that said there was a conflict of interest and that she would not be swayed to engage in socializing with him, at least not in any sort of way that could lead to an amorous attachment. Caller number 2, what say you?
Like Katy or Rosy or whatever we're calling her, I too am grateful Stalk got rid of the spiders. Mostly I'm thankful that he used natural methods. I would have felt compelled to boycott the show if they'd actually destroyed a colony of arachnids. Some of my best friends are 8-leggers. Looks like I bought my picket sign supplies for nothing. Oh well, I'll just find something else to picket.
No need to, as we say, picket. All is well. The show is just bringing up some of the concerns that we all have as pertain to species rights, and we will see what becomes of the situation with the spiders, and if Stalk is in fact able to eradicate them. If that is the case, do they stay away? And now for our last call, caller number 3.
Hi, this is Tiki. I can't believe it. Pearl and Milliam. I never thought either of them would ever find love, but they did. And what's more, they found each other. That is the sweetest storyline this show has seen in 100 years. We're going to have a viewing party in my realm to watch the wedding. So sweet. Thank you. Bye.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, caller. It is difficult not to become emotional over this beautiful coupling that, for which we've waited so very, very long, and I'm so thankful they didn't draw it out week after week, millennia after millennia, and they finally let us not only see the proposal, but see the consummation. Oh, excuse me, not the consummation, the kissamation. We got to see the loving bringing together of those 2 characters we've watched for so long, since they were babes on the show. Which brings us to today's sponsor. And you will be very thankful for this, dear caller number 3. Our sponsor today is Woes Begone Facial Tissues. The tissues infused with endorphins. They not only dry your eyes, but make you smile. Woes Begone, the comforting tissue for your emotional issue. And now, that brings us to the end of this absolutely fantastic episode of Love Among the Brambles, season 1769. What can you look forward to next week? In episode 15918, Slight of stature, slighter of hand. Slate will face 2 women and one awful choice. Milliam will brew never clear starshine with explosive results. And Katy Diddleleaf will find out Stalk has a secret. Until then, friends and fans, do keep calm. And as always, bramble on.